Judi, I read your book. Fear is My Homeboy, everyone. You must check it out. It is chock full of
Oh,
actionable tips. It's inspirational, right? With the tools too. So I love
yeah.
that. But what I noticed in your story, and really, again, I'm if you're an avid listener to this podcast, you hear me say this every time. Why I invite people on this podcast is because in my eyes, you're a black belt in badassery. And what that
Mm,
means is that you have overcome
yeah.
lots of challenges, major challenges to get to where you are. And now you share that with others. You share your gifts with so many others to help them rise as well. So, with that said, what I noticed in the book, something that you didn't talk a lot about, but is your past, your upbringing.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about having a difficult parent?
Mm.
How much or how little you want to share is all good, and then bring us on the trajectory of how you now are this incredible keynote speaker, traveling the country, doing so well professionally. I want to hear it all. How
Oh
does
my
someone do
gosh. Okay, well, let's start with the mommy issues. Okay.
that?
I think when I wrote Homeboy, which came out in 2019, by the way. So Fears
Mm,
My Homeboy dropped in 2019. And it's interesting, this book. And, you know, we were talking about this before we went on the air that, I don't believe there's coincidence in anything, right? And if you think about what happened, and then when you trust the divine timing of your life and
right.
certainly lean into the faith you have. If you have a faith and whatever your faith is, you can start to go, oh, interesting. This is a divine realignment. This is a divine assignment. Oh, this was meant to happen right at this time. Because if you look at what happened in 2020, everything, changed and life as we know it changed. And
Mm-hmm.
um, old Judi would have loved to say, oh gosh, well, let's say this. One of the things I talk about in my book, Coming Back to Badass, is you can either be a victim or a badass. You can't be both. Okay. So we are badasses. We are not victims. So victim thinking would have been like, oh, but it's not fair. My book came out in 2019 and then the world shut down. And oh my God, but the badass goes, ooh, my book came out in 2019 and the world shut down. People have never been more afraid. People have never been more ready to confront their fears. People have never been more ready to step into who they were born to be. People are ready to make moves and take chances. And maybe, just maybe, this is when God needed my book because it is on its own assignment. And that sort of alignment is what
Mm-hmm.
sets one free. So this is the little book that could. And she continues to do big things in the world. I'm working on book number 2. But when I was writing that book, I knew that my mother had to have a place in the book. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being really honest with you, and by the way, if you too have mommy issues,
Mm-hmm.
holler at your girl, let me know. The more I share these stories, on stage, even if I allude to it in small subtle ways, it's amazing because I'll say, hey, anybody else in the room got mommy issues, like, because I think as a speaker you can talk about something hard on stage until you're fully healed from it. Because now
That's
I can talk
right.
about my mom because I have done the trauma work and I am reading the books and I've gone through the therapy and I have laid down my sword and I have healed what I've needed to heal
Mm.
in myself to be able to move forward. And so I can talk about her on stage in really playful ways. And I say, anybody else got mommy issues? And it's amazing the hands that go up.
Wow.
Sadly,
Mm.
sadly,
Yeah.
but also comfortingly, because then I'm like, ooh, maybe I'm meant to be speaking about this. So when I wrote Homeboy, I didn't give it too much airplay
Mm-hmm.
because I was still really afraid of my mom.
Mm. Wow.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean, I still am. I think I
Mm-hmm.
probably always will be.
Yeah.
But now I'm healed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote Fear is My Homeboy, I was not this version of myself. I was a
Wow.
bit more unhealed. And so I knew I needed to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
um, and and be honest in that way because I think it's a big achievement to be able
Yeah.
to come out of the dark and into the light,
And lay
especially
down your sword. That
and
was
lay
so
down your
powerful.
sword. But I didn't want to give away my power too much
Right.
to the monster
Mm-hmm.
that sort of is the relationship I have with my mom. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that I mean, my mom is you know, she has a lot of demons and unhealed demons. My mom is an unhealed human
Oh,
who had and parented 4 kids. I was the oldest and I was the girl. And
wow.
I just kind of represented and to this day represent everything she could not do for herself, everything she wished she could be in this world. And instead of loving me for it, she hates me for it.
Oh,
And for so long as a woman, as a female, I don't have kids. I think this is a big reason I got married at 39. I made a lot of life choices because I did not want to. And I don't think everybody should have kids, or I don't think everybody needs to have kids. And for me, I knew I wanted to break the cycle. I knew I just couldn't.
wow.
I think I needed to shut it down.
Mm,
And, good or bad, it's the choice I made. But I knew that if I didn't do the deep, dark, dope work on myself, I was going to end up in disease, because disease in your mind and in your soul and in your heart manifests as disease in your body. And so I love myself too much to let that happen. So I have read all the PTSD books and the childhood trauma books and all the stuff, and worked through a lot of therapy over the last 3, 4 years. And now I can sort of more confidently and courageously talk about that. But yeah, I mean, as a girl, like, that is
mhm.
jacked up when the first female role model in your life is
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna make your life miserable. Like, you are, you know what I mean? Like, like, every time you shine, I'm gonna ruin that day so big
Wow.
and bad for you, from homecoming to when I would be in pageants to performances. Like, it would just, like, anything she could do to put a lid on my light, she would
Mhm.
do it. And it's interesting because look at what I do now in the
Now,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
complete opposite.
And
Like,
I don't think I was a mom on purpose, because I wouldn't be able to do this work. And now I'm a mama in so many ways. I'm able to mother myself, mother other women who sort of may have mommy issues, and mother the women and the people and the humans that like make up my community, that see me on keynote stages and come into my course and just whatever it may be. So that's
yeah,
a long answer to like
yeah,
why I didn't expand, but also how that played a role in my life, because I um, would be a completely different Judi Holler had I not had
right.
my mom as my mom. And I'm so grateful for it, because
Mhm.
it's made me, it's given me every gift that I have. But I'm
It's
not a victim. She's the victim. I'm not.
right. It's made you exactly who you are, and who you are from an outsider is a light, a bright, shining light who shines on others. And you're making this world a better place. So
Thank
I
you.
just want to acknowledge you for that.